Thank you to everyone who has joined the call early today. Like we started yesterday, it's the Start Your Career in Tech series. Yesterday we started with software engineering, where we brought a software engineer who has several years of experience on the field to share with us. Today we have someone who is going to be throwing more light into the part of starting a career in data analytics. And thankfully, she's already on the call. So as many people who would like to join us, you could actually be part of the whole series. We still have 2 more sessions next week, but today is for data analytics, and I'm sure that we are excited to be here today. And I'll start by welcoming us once again, and we'll dive straight into our subject of discussion today. Yes, so Titilope Onabajo, can you kindly unmute and introduce yourself? Let us know who you are, where you work presently, and yes, let's just know that about you.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Titilope Onabajo. I'm a data analyst. I work with Access Bank at the moment, and I guess that's it. Nothing much, nothing big.
All right, thanks, Titi, for that brief introduction. So my first question would be, can you walk us through your journey into data analytics? I mean, a couple of persons on the call are probably newbies or are thinking, should I venture into data analytics? Is this something I can do? Can you shed more light on how your journey, how you found yourself in data analytics today?
Okay, so I'll be sharing my story this way. So I did not start my career path as a data analyst. As a matter of fact, I'm a trained accountant. I studied accounting in school, and I'm currently a chartered accountant. So I was into the accounting line for about 2 years. I was doing pure accounting. However, so where I began to pick interest in data analytics has been right from school. I remembered during school, I liked my project time because there was some analysis to do, and it got me really interested. Those days of ANOVA regression and all of these calculations that comes with analyzing projects. When you are doing projects in school, there's this chapter 4 that has to do with analysis of your project. Okay, so that's what I was doing, and when I did that for my friend and myself, and I accepted a couple of friends to do it, it really got me interested in numbers, working with figures, and so I started learning Excel. I left school, but the interest had already picked up, and I started learning Excel because I learned that Excel is good for analysis and working with numbers. Okay, so that I think it was from learning Excel that the whole thing I began to say that this thing is interesting. Let me learn another thing, let me learn the next thing, and the rest is history. So I remember particularly that was 2020, during COVID period, where there was a forced lockdown. Everybody had to stop going to work and every other thing. So I bought a course then on Udemy. The course was about analytics, just general analytics, and the course was very loaded. So during that time, there was really nothing much to do. So I took my pen and a notepad and I started taking like all of the course content, just sinking it in. At that time, I was doing fine as an accountant. Of course, I liked my job and I was comfortable doing what I was, but I was just learning. So taught the course covered SQL, it covered statistics, covered SQL, covered Tableau, and an introduction to Python. So it was from that course I became more exposed to what data analysis is like when it comes to big data, handling big data. So from that early 2020, I just knew that, oh, this is something.
Hello, Titi. It seems we lost you there. Can
After that course, I took another course, and from there, the whole thing became progressive, and until I switched fully into data analytics.
Wow, wow,
So
wow.
that's my journey.
Yeah, well, interesting story there. I like how that you mentioned a simple tool, what almost everybody has on their system that we even sometimes downplay or don't see the importance. Microsoft Excel, as simple as it is, it was very, very instrumental in your journey. And I mean, a lot of people just like a lot of people just have, I mean, if you have a PC, you most likely have Microsoft Office, but sometimes we don't know what gem lies inside that tool that we have there. Thank you for sharing your journey. I mean, it wasn't like you always knew don't be a data analyst, but you followed your instinct, followed your curiosity and your passion, and you found yourself where you are today. So my next question would be, what skills, what technical skills would you think are important for someone who wants to venture into data analytics today?
Okay, so I'll just continue from where
Okay,
I
that's fine.
stopped that time. It is so anybody that wants to go into data analytics, I just first advise go and learn Excel, right? I'm not shading any other bigger tools. Of course, I'm still using all of these SQL and Power BI, but Excel is still their daddy. Let me put it like that. So once you understand Excel, like you are very, and when I'm saying Excel, it's not 2 plus 2 is equals to 3, 3 plus 3 is equals to 5. Those are basic. But when you understand Excel, it becomes much more easier to understand the concepts that that are at work when working with more technical tools like SQL. Of course, as a data analyst, that especially when you're working in a big space, you would need SQL, you would need Power BI for your visualizations and further transformations. You will need Python, okay? You will need Python. So It depends. So if you are in an organization that they are working more with Tableau, of course you will need Tableau. But it's still all of these are still data analytics tool that is mostly used in the corporate space. So, but once you understand Excel and basic statistics, so people overlook statistics, the knowledge of statistics. But honestly, if you understand statistics as a concept, to interpret the result of your findings becomes much more easier. So I would advise those two first, and then from there you progress to Power BI, progress to SQL, and then at a more later time, Python. So those are the tools. Those are technical skills. And then also for soft skills, I'll always say curiosity and having an analytical mind is very important, because it is one thing to have the tool. It is another thing to know how to instruct the tool. So it is your mind, it is how your mind sees data, it is how your mind queries the data, even right from your mind. It is what you think that the data should be able to give you. That is how you'll be able to channel your technical knowledge. So in as much as the technical skill is important, there's also the part of soft skills that one really needs to build and cultivate to be to get better as a data analyst. So that's it.
Thank you so much for bringing in soft skills. So I mean, we mention or flog the issue of getting technical skills, but sometimes at some point in your career, what determines your career growth goes beyond just your knowledge of technical skills, but how you are able to manage people, how you are able to relate with people, how you are able to communicate effectively in the workplace, and that's soft skills for you there. Thank you so much. So, in terms of how you picked up this skill, what were some of the challenges you can identify or you encountered? So, I mean, did you self-learn? Did you go to any training institute to go and learn? So, what were some of the challenges you encountered while starting this career path?
Okay. So I'll put it this way that okay, I started majorly as a self-learner. Like a very good part of this journey has come from just me exploring like many learning platforms. Okay. So I started as a self-learner working with more with Udemy. So I listened to yesterday's podcast. The host, the guest rather mentioned Udemy and YouTube. So I leverage a lot on Udemy, on all these learning platforms, and of course, so those platforms will actually teach you. Okay, they will actually expose you to a lot of knowledge. However, the challenge there is that sometimes there are some things that you would not get to experience until you start, like you are faced with a real world task. Okay, and there's no perfect data anywhere. So you are faced with a task that, oh, Coursera did not teach you on how to navigate it, or Udemy. Okay, so it's now time for you to um think and see what to do. So those are challenges I started having, that, oh, we were not taught this one. How will I go about it? We were not taught that one. What will I do at this point? So it meant that I had to keep researching and exploring. And thank God there are a lot of answers or pointers to answers on the internet. So you just have to relax and think through it, so that you can be able to come up with ideas and be creative on how to navigate a particular um, job or a particular task that come across. So there are things that learning platforms, in as much as they are good, until you begin like the real task, you think that, oh, I know it. Is it not Selecta? Is it not Celesta? Is it not Power BI? Drag and drop. Okay. But when you see some real world tasks, you'll be like, oh, this one is beyond me. Oh. But then it's there's solution everywhere. And that's why another good thing is that I had to, at a point after self-learning to an extent, I had to go for some to some organizations that trained. I went to Datalium, I went to Itiva, I did a course with Datalium, I did a course with Itiva, and this was just to strengthen, of course, connection. So when you meet with people that speak the same language that you speak, it becomes much easy. So you know that, oh, when you are faced with a challenge, you have a network of people that you can ask questions. You have a network of people that you can, table your challenge with, and they are able to come up with solutions collaboratively, okay, for you to overcome that particular task. So there's also the power of collaboration, in as much as one may want to self-learn due to cost, so it's cheaper. There's this power of collaboration when you go out to learn with people from other platforms.
Yes, interesting. I was about asking, thanks for sharing on those challenges and how you worked around solving them. I was about asking, which would you prefer for someone who is just starting out, someone who has no idea of data analytics? Which would you prefer, that the person goes the route of self-learning, going on the internet, looking for resources and absorbing the information, or actually going to an actual training school where they teach data analytics? So which would you prefer? I know from your story you mentioned you did both, but which do you think is most effective, or would you rather go for both?
Okay, so it's dicey because everybody learns differently. So there's no one size code fit all when it comes to learning. Some people learn better when they hear people teach them. Some people learn better when they sit down themselves um, pick interest and pursue that learning part. So it's really dicey to give a straightforward answer. However, what I recommend is that, okay, before you so some of these schools are actually yes, they're economical, but they can be a little bit expensive if the person is just an upcoming person that may not be financially buoyant, right? So what I usually advise is that, oh, if you say you are interested in data analytics or whatever tech skill, right? Give yourself 3 months, solve the internet, be dedicated to a particular channel. So if it's Udemy you are learning from, stay on Udemy. There are pretty cheap courses, 3, 5, 4K, 5,000 naira that you can buy on Udemy. All right. When you take a course and you devote the course, see if you really have passion for that thing, right? Within 3 months, if you are actually truthful and you are committed to learning, you would actually be exposed to a good number of things in 3 months' time, in 4 months' time. So you can actually say, "Oh, I'm interested. This thing is actually piquing my interest." It's not just a buzzword that, oh, because people are saying go and learn tech, go and learn tech, go and learn tech. That's why you want to go and learn tech. Okay. So if you yourself you can discover whether you have interest in it or not, it will be much more easier for you now to be able to go to a physical school or any other school. It may not necessarily be physical, but where you meet and interact with other human beings to say, oh, okay, I want to enroll and I want to, by then you are pretty sure of, okay, I actually want to journey along this path. Okay. So I will take myself for example. Before I learned data analysis, I tried learning digital marketing, and it was was not my thing. I just discovered that it was not my thing. It was not who I pictured myself or what I pictured myself doing and I will enjoy doing. Okay. So, but I was able to realize that because I tried, I actually put myself into learning it. So it was in the course of learning I discovered that my strength is not here. Okay. So what I'm just trying to say is there has to first be a self-knowledge that, oh, this is where my capacity can thrive or where my interest can thrive before you go out and commit. Because if you don't want to go out and commit a lot of resources, you go to a school, you pay a fee, and then at the end of it, within 3 weeks, you are just wondering what they are doing there. So it can be painful and it can be a waste of economic resource. So our advice: take a course, go on YouTube, learn it for about 2 months, 3 months, and make sure that you have interest. Then you then go ahead to put more resources towards learning it.
Thank you so much, Chiti. I like how that there's kind of a synergy between what you just said and what the guest yesterday mentioned. So he talked about going to YouTube and go on YouTube and search for resources, then absorb a lot of the free resources on YouTube before going to take some of these paid courses. And I mean, that's that if you are able to sit down for 3 months on any course, wow, that requires a lot of patience, commitment, and focus, which is not so readily found. That you would have learned, if I'm not mistaken, 50% of the rudiments of that particular field, that particular course that you want to learn, because that's a whole lot to sit down and commit to 3 months learning a course, and it will help you to know what should I go for when you want to pay for a particular course. So thank you for letting us know that I mean, different people learn differently, and they're able to use what works for them as an individual. So so should I say, my next question would be, how is the job market like for getting data analytics job in Nigeria? Do you think there's a demand for data analytics data analysts rather in the market today, and which industries do you think these demands are more in?
Oh, okay. There's demand though, because my workload is much. That's on the lighter side, but really, there's demand because why? A lot of companies are beginning to realize that there's a lot of data they're actually sitting on, right? And this data can point them to new business opportunities if only they can, see someone that will help them explore their data for them, right? And thanks to technology, we gather data easily every day, like every minute, every second. Data is accumulating based on transactions, based on communication, and even social media, right? So a lot of companies are, in fact, Nigeria is still behind, but even with the fact that Nigeria is still behind, you find out that now, if you go on LinkedIn, just search for data analysts, right? And you'll be amazed on the churn of numbers that you see for looking at people looking for data analysts, right? So that being said, but then I also want to also acknowledge the fact that the data space is getting filled up or like fast. So in as much as is a demand, at the same time, a lot of people are beginning to come into the space. Say in the last 3 years, in the last 4 years, not everybody would recruit a data analyst because they'll be wondering what the person is going to be doing, what's the job role going to be like. But at the same time, in a space of 4 years, a lot has happened. And in the space of 2, 3 years, a lot will still happen, right? So there's demand. If you want to go into it, just start now. Don't further procrastinate it, right? Because one thing about learning a skill is that you really want to come into it where the demand is as hot as possible. Okay. I tell people that I foresee that in the space of 3 years, like 7 of 10 of companies in Nigeria would have, or I mean, a standard, of course, would have a data analyst in their team.
I mean, you're already
That
doing data forecasting with that.
it's just natural. So that's the statistics. Is getting wider and wider. And then another thing is that I think that what people don't realize in the data space is that you don't necessarily need to be big on coding, right? A
Okay.
lot of people say, oh, I don't like writing code. I don't know how to, code is not my thing. Okay, if code is not your thing. So there are other parts in data that are not well pronounced, but they are actually needed and they are actually very, very important. And that's the data governance, even business analysts. Okay, these people deal with data policies, data integrity, data sharing, and all of that part. However, you need to understand data for you to even create a policy or talk about governance. Okay, but that's another part that people that do not like coding in code can also research about data governance, data governance, and all of that part. So that's another thing I thought to put out there, just in case you are not the coding, you are not the tech
Professor.
bro that likes to code.
Yeah, so can you throw more light to what a data analyst would typically do for a business, or what value would a data analyst be bringing to a business? Of course, because I have an idea of what a data analyst does. So when you started projecting of what will happen in the next 3 years with data and the possibility, I was able to know that that's forecast. So how would you present to a regular business owner, or how would they see value in data analysis and what it brings to their business or to an organization? How would you tell that story?
Okay, so the key selling point of a data analyst, right, is that you are able to go to data. Now, when I say data, it means that you are seeing large numbers. You are seeing 10 million rows, and you are not afraid of handling that data,
Interesting.
squeezing it out to bring out tangible insights. The end goal of every data analysis is that you are bringing out insights from junk of data. Let me even call it junk, because many times when data comes to us or a data analyst, they are usually in the most unappreciable form. You'll be wondering, where did they pack this thing from? So it's usually so we call it in data space, we call it messy data. It's so messy. You have to do a lot of transformations, a lot of data cleaning to be able to make sense out of it. Okay, so your key selling point is that you are, at the end of it, you are taking that messy data and you are bringing to the stakeholder insights that can help them make better decisions. If your analysis or your data analysis project or whatever you are doing is not pointing to insights that can help make better decisions, then it may be defeated, or is as good as it being not bringing much value as expected. So many times I see dashboards, a lot of people just pick on data sets, we do dashboards and all of that designing, and yes, the aesthetics is very important, but stakeholders don't really, they are not really, in as much as they want to see fine dashboards, fine reports. When it comes to business space where I play in currently, what they want to hear is, okay, what do we do from here? Where do we go from here? Should we stop doing this? So if they are running a campaign or something, should we stop the campaign, seeing that it's not effective based on the data, that what based on what data is showing us, or should we target these people? Are these people responding? Are this age group responding more than this age group? And that is why you see that sometimes you see some ads, you see some promotions, or you see some even campaigns, or some business opportunities that it seems like they are targeting a specific audience, right? It is because if you check, they've done their own work, they've done their assignments, and data is pointing them towards a particular direction, right? That is the joy of every data analyst, that, oh, I'm able to analyze this data, bring out insights that can help the business. That is the end goal.
All right. So as we round up, because we're less than 7 minutes to the end of this session. So what was it like getting your first job, as a data analyst? How did you get that? Was it difficult, and what process do you think helped in achieving that?
Okay, my switch was very unusual. It's a very unusual one, and it's it may not be something that can easily be generalized. So I used to work as an accountant, like I mentioned when we started, and then um, my boss then, my line manager knew, he knew that, oh, I was always talking about one course I was doing, another course I was doing, and data analysis. And somehow I got to the wind of, okay, and unknown to me at that time, the company where I worked, they were looking for a data analyst. So it was just preparedness and grace. I will just put it like that. So they were looking for, and it was just God planning everything. And oh, they were like, oh, there's somebody that's always talking about data analysis in this company. Okay, oh yeah, come and do the work. And that was it. That was it. So
Wow. Wow. Wow.
yeah, that was
Interesting.
just it.
Interesting. So you were a typical accounting role, because you actually were upskilling, and you were communicating also. I mean, for someone to know that, your line manager to know, that means you were communicating about it, you were talking about it, you were sharing. And when an opportunity came, you just readily came to mind for that. That's interesting. So should I ask at this point, so what advice would you give to someone who wants to start today, someone who is on the call and wants to start out in data analytics? What advice would you be giving to that person?
Okay. So the first advice I'll give is, if you want to start today, start today. Don't waste time again. That's that's the first thing.
Yes.
Start as fast as possible. Data analysis, anything you want to learn, start now. Time waits for no one. Time waits for no one, honestly. And then another thing I would also advise is that um, start from start from the basics. Many times I see people that, oh, they are just starting out data analysis and they're already learning Python. And I'm like, why? Oh, why are you jumping the gun? Don't overload yourself. So it's easy to get lost with information overload when you are just trying many things, right? Start from the basics. Build your foundation properly. Build it well. Build it strong. Okay. Don't be bamboozled by, oh, it's Python, it's R. We are learning R, we are learning Python, we are learning Java, we are learning everything. No, take it step by step and be consistent in learning. So my journey that started in 2020, I did not stop. Okay, I started my role as a data analyst officially in 2022. Between 2020 and 2022, there was a lot of learning, continuous learning. So for something to become um, a part of you, is you have to give it time. Take it as a course that you want to go and do in the university, right? And say, oh, I'm learning this thing in the next 2 years. So many people say, oh, you can become a data analyst in 4 months, in 4 weeks, in 6 weeks, become a data analyst in 6 weeks. Don't fall for all those gimmicks because you want to make tech money. There's no
Interesting.
tech money anywhere. It's stress money. But what I'm driving at is that don't learn because you are hearing that there's money in tech. If you learn with that purpose, by 6 weeks, you're already sending out your CV that you're a data analyst. I see some LinkedIn profile, data scientist, and the person, I can't even see on your profile an Excel course or a Power BI and SQL course that you have done that, that can tell me that, oh, you are actually learning this thing, right? So take it step by step. Don't try to jump the gun because you want to make money. Rather, learn because you want to understand and improve yourself first. When people see value, instantly they know that this person knows what he or she is talking about. And even as at now, there are still things that I do not know. I will tell you, to be frank. There are, thank God for ChatGPT these days. But I'm still telling that there are still courses as I am now. There's still an Udemy course I'm doing on Power BI. Like, is so learning is ever progressive. There's no bus stop, there's no destination. You keep learning to become better every day, every day.
Thank you so much, Titi. And that brings us to the end of this session today. You mentioned to start now. You mentioned to start from the basics, and you also said we should be consistent with our learning. And of course, it definitely takes time. It's not something you learn in 2 weeks, in 4 weeks, as so many people portray online. So if you want to start a career in data analytics, today is the best time for you to start. So don't snooze, don't sleep on it. I really want to appreciate you, Titi, for coming and joining us to share your insights, your experience on the job. I don't know, would you I'm sure if you have any questions, if anyone has any questions for Titi, you can kindly drop them on the WhatsApp group and she will definitely attend to them. So if you have any questions that you have, probably you are learning already, or you need some clarity, you can actually drop your questions on the WhatsApp group and Titi will attend to them. I hope you don't mind if we share your LinkedIn profile with the group, Titi.
Yeah, you can
All right. Thank,
definitely.
thank you so much. Any parting words before we close?
Uh, so my parting words is just keep learning to become better. Just keep learning. Don't stop. Don't give up.
All right.
Don't give
Learning never stops. So we must continue to learn and learn and learn because the world is changing, new challenges coming up every day, irrespective of whatever stack, whatever skill or tool that you are using. You need to keep learning. Thank you everyone for joining us. To meet again next week. Have a lovely, lovely